And it is through maintaining those optimal levels of electrolytes in our body that we're able to rebalance, hydrate, support metabolic functions, cellular functions, communication in the body, enzymatic production functions, physiological processes, and so much more. Welcome to the Embodied Woman podcast with me, Rebecca Wilson. If you believe that fertile energy, creative power, and embodied, resourced, nourished women will change the world, then you are in the right place. This is a space to support you to arrive deeper into relationship with yourself and your body, to explore the multifaceted experience of womanhood. It is my mission to guide women back into connection with their natural essence, to become the living embodiment of their true nature. Are you ready to join a community of women who are taking responsibility for our lives, our energy, women who are centered and rooted in ourselves, connected to our womb space, and deeply nourished on a cellular level? If so, let's begin into this week's episode. Welcome to the community, my love. Hello, my love. Welcome back to the podcast. In today's episode, we're diving deep into the importance of balancing electrolytes. And I wanted to record this episode as there's such a buzz around electrolytes at the moment, especially in the health and wellness space, and particularly, in the space of social media and Instagram. There are many new brands of electrolyte powders being marketed and being sold. But I really wanted to take you, the listeners, on a journey of understanding what electrolytes are, what they do in our body, how we can best support them, and working out which specific electrolytes our body may need more of in order to find that place of balance and harmony and metabolic ease. Electrolytes are in our body calcium, magnesium, sodium, and potassium. And they are really crucial in supporting many cellular, metabolic, physiological processes, communications within our system. They are vital, very much needed for us to be in that space of balance, harmony, but also just feeling energized and able to live our lives in a more full and easeful way. Electrolytes are minerals, and they carry what is known as an electric charge throughout the body. And as I've said, they play this essential role in many different bodily functions, from regulating fluid balance, nerve function, muscle contractions, pH levels, muscle recovery, relaxation, adrenal support, nervous system balance. The list is pretty long. It's an endless one. But I'd like to, first of all, just go on a little journey into each of the electrolytes so we can better understand what each of them do. And then from there, we can explore a little deeper. So first stop is calcium. Calcium is known for its role in bone health. That's quite a widely known and well marketed, should I add, piece of information. But it has many more benefits for us beyond our bone health. Calcium does also support muscle function, nerve signaling, and blood clotting. As women, having adequate amount of calcium intake is really essential for us to maintain our bone density, especially later on in life, although prevention is always better than cure. It helps us to prevent against osteoporosis and also supports cardiovascular health. It also supports women as we traverse eventually through those kind of peri and menopausal and postmenopausal seasons of our lives. Then we move on to magnesium. Okay, so magnesium is involved in over 300 enzymatic reactions in our bodies, which makes it pretty vital for our overall sense of well-being and vitality. Magnesium supports muscle and nerve functions, regulates blood sugar levels, and contributes to energy production on a cellular level. For us as women, magnesium plays a really big role in relieving any menstrual cramps. It reduces PMS symptoms and helps support relaxation and release of tension and deep sleep. And then we move on to sodium. So sodium is one of those interesting ones which often has been demonized, particularly in media and marketing, but it is an essential mineral for maintaining fluid balance in our bodies, alongside nerve function and muscle contraction too. Sodium helps regulate blood pressure, and it also plays a key role in nutrient absorption from our foods. For us as women in particular, sodium balance is really important for hydration on a cellular level. Electrolyte balance, it helps to balance other electrolytes out, and overall cellular function, so that we are better able to absorb the nutrients that we are getting from all of that gorgeous food that we feed ourselves. And then we move on to potassium. Potassium is another vital electrolyte, and it supports muscle function, nerve signaling as well, and also heart health. It helps to maintain fluid balance in the body, regulates blood pressure, and it also supports kidney function. For us as women, potassium really benefits our ability to reduce water retention. It also supports our lymphatic system. It supports healthy blood pressure levels and enhances our cardiovascular health. As with all things in life, and particularly within the mineral matrix of our body, everything works on this finite, fine-tuned, relational dynamic. All of these electrolytes are in relationship to one another to a varying degree. Magnesium and calcium are very closely connected, and they are in a balancing relationship with one another. When we do not have enough magnesium in our system, whether that is from poor diet, lack of supplementation, or stress, they are the ways in which we can burn through or secrete and deplete our magnesium reserves. Our body calls upon its counterpart, calcium, which is best served in the bones, and it leaches the calcium from the bones to bring it into the blood to try and make it do the job of magnesium, because they are in relationship with one another. But of course, although closely connected, they are not one another. They are opposites. And calcium can't do the job of magnesium. And this is where we can then see calcification deposits start to build up in the system, which then can later on in life lead to arthritis, bone density issues, because the calcium's not where it's meant to be. But it can also cause calcification of the cells, of the organs, of the tissues. And this is where on a HTMA, we may see an imbalance in the relationship between calcium-magnesium ratio. Often a very high calcium would be known as high tissue calcium, or past a certain level would be known as a calcium shell. So this is why these two in relationship are really important to find that balance that is needed within the system. And similarly, but with very different processes, sodium and potassium are in relationship with each other. They support adrenal balance, energy, and nutrients into cells, waste out of cells. And it is important to have the right ratio, again, for these nutrients and these minerals to work and function optimally in our bodies. So something that I do want to speak into is that many of these electrolyte drinks or powders, and they're of varying degrees. There are some that are very much, full of sugars, highly synthetic, not very good for you at all, but labeled as a electrolyte drink because marketing is marketing. And there are others out there which are much more natural and would be more beneficial for the body as a whole, without any artificial or false ingredients and sugars. But what I tend to see across the board is that most electrolytes available are very high in sodium and not high enough in potassium. And that isn't me saying we don't need sodium. I'm very clear on that. We absolutely do, but we need it in a balanced ratio to potassium. And this is often what we see missing or lacking in these marketed electrolyte drinks, but also something that's very common for me to see in a HTMA, a hair tissue mineral analysis chart. We'll often see maybe a higher sodium and a very low potassium, or low sodium and potassium, depending on the individual. And that leads us into exploring things like adrenal fatigue, adrenal burnout, exhaustion, energy depletion in the system, poor nutrient absorption, thyroid imbalance, lymphatic drainage issues, detox pathways slow or shut down. We may also see a slow digestive system or slow elimination within the body. And I think it's really important for us to know this. I believe the ratio is 4 potassium to 1 sodium. And many of these electrolytes are probably 8 sodium to 1 potassium or something crazy wild like that. And it makes me wonder, why would we need to have those electrolyte powders anyway? Well, one of the things we can do is we can add more potassium to it to balance it out, maybe in the form of cream of tartar or coconut water. But we can just also make our own electrolyte drinks, and they don't need to have any fancy, marketing around them. They definitely don't need them to have any false ingredients or additives or sugars or unnatural flavoring in there. And we're able then to balance out the ratio of calcium, magnesium, sodium, and potassium to be exactly what our body may need. And we can then personalize that even further. When we go into hair testing, we can see the exact numbers on our electrolyte balances and begin to make recipes that are unique for our own body's needs, rather than these generic electrolyte drinks and powders, which cover a very broad spectrum. And it is through maintaining those optimal levels of electrolytes in our body that we're able to rebalance, hydrate, support metabolic functions, cellular functions, communication in the body, enzymatic production functions, physiological processes, and so much more. And when we do take this journey of balancing those first 4 minerals, or also known as the electrolytes of the chart, we can, as women, begin to experience a more better health. We can begin to experience menstrual health, as the adequate electrolyte balance alleviates menstrual cramps, reduces bloating, and eases premenstrual syndrome. It also helps with detoxification and elimination, particularly in that premenstrual stage of our menstrual cycle. It'll also help us with bone health, bone density, which again is important now, but also really important to pay it forward. And I really love that, prevention is better than cure saying. And with that, I think to prevent is to take care of ourselves now, thinking about our future self and what we may need as we grow through the different stages and seasons of life. We can support our heart health by maintaining healthy blood pressure levels, supporting cardiovascular function, muscle health, as electrolytes support muscle contraction and relaxation, both of which are important. That can help us with if we train or we exercise, or just a general feeling of ease in the body. It can also prevent muscle cramps, restless leg syndrome, and muscle or body fatigue. Having an optimal electrolyte levels also do support greatly our nervous system, as they support nerve function. Also, when we're balanced in this way, it promotes mental clarity, mood stability, and a really big one, a key one, stress resilience. Okay. So when we have a poor stress response, which if I break that down, what does that mean? Well, a poor stress response is that we are easy to be activated or triggered or taken into a big range of emotional experience around a subject or an interaction or a life event that does not equate to the size of the experience we are having. A poor stress response can also look like a weakened immune system, PMS, histamine issues. On an emotional and relational level, it can look like snapping at your kids, arguing with your partner, not being able to focus throughout your day at work, being highly activated or triggered in, a work environment where your boss might want to have a conversation with you, either feeling really emotional, defensive, shut down, like you need to attack. Ultimately, your body and your nervous system are in a state of threat. And that is where a poor stress response comes in. And we're often existing in poor stress response when we are imbalanced on a mineral and an electrolyte level. And by supporting our electrolyte balance and our overall mineral matrix, we do begin to build stress resilience in our system. So we're better able to be responsive to life, to create some space between ourselves and the experience we're having, and to not let that jarring or triggering state in our nervous system overrule and take over. And we test our electrolytes and our overall minerals through a HTMA, which is a hair tissue mineral analysis. And that is a lab test that measures the mineral content in your hair sample. Because hair grows slowly, this testing provides a long-term view of the mineral status and therefore the metabolic trends and electrolyte balances in the body, which reflects changes over months rather than a short, immediate snapshot in time, which is provided when we get blood testing. HTMA can also offer a really deep, comprehensive picture of essential minerals, electrolytes, heavy metals, and it gives us a broader understanding of where the body is, what the system is doing, how it is or is not handling stress, and gives us a better kind of report card of what you may need as an individual, rather than just taking in, electrolyte powders, sachets, supplements that are so cleverly marketed on social media or, through marketing plans and strategies, or influencers have shown taking a certain supplement on their social media platform, and before you know it, we believe that that's what we need to, rather than actually knowing what we need and taking that into our system instead. As we do evaluate those wide range of minerals and heavy metals, but also specifically the key electrolytes, we're able to identify deficiencies or excesses. We're also able to identify what stage of the stress cycle our body may be in, whether we are in the acute or initial stage of stress, or whether we have been in long-standing stress for a long time and we're in that chronic state. And from there, we're better able to learn what we can do to support the body. It can also support to identify any hidden imbalances, particularly with electrolytes, as sometimes they can be so subtle, but be impacting us on a really great big level. And this is the journey that we take through my individual and my group Embodied Woman mentorship program. And the doors for this cohort of the group program are closing really soon. It's a beautiful 6-month journey with a circle of women where you go on this process of unraveling through embodiment, cellular restoration, electrolyte balance, feminine energy, restoring vitality, to heal chronic signs, symptoms, flares in the body, to restore energy, hormonal balance, to move out of fatigue, exhaustion, burnout, and to overall feel your most full and vibrant self so that you can live the life that you desire to live. so you can have more capacity to go on holiday, to be present with the kids, to not snap at your partner, to grow and expand in your business or your work, or to just simply be able to ease, relax, and settle in your body and feel safe to do so. The doors are still open and places are very limited for this offering. It's a very beautiful, intimate space. So if you're feeling the call and you want to know that personalized need of your body and how we can best support your electrolyte and overall mineral balance, alongside somatic healing, embodiment, feminine restoring practices, and just being held in a beautiful group of like-minded women as you walk this path of reclaiming resource and vitality, this is the space for you. The links of that will be in the show notes of this episode. So just scroll on down, click on through, and I will also pop in there a link for a connection call. So should you want to reach out and chat and you have any questions, then please do book a call with me. I'm here. I love connecting with you and being able to support you in the best ways that I can. But for now, sending you loads of love and have a beautiful day. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. If you loved this episode, please share it far and wide with your sisterhood and community. You can dive deep into all of my offerings via rebecca-wilson.com. Links to all offerings are below in the show notes of this episode. If you would love to support the podcast, please like, subscribe, download, and share the episodes so my work and this message can reach more women around the world. Remember, my love, you are here to live a life fully, deeply inhabiting your body and your divine nature. I am here to show you how. Hey love, I'm just dropping in to share that the doors are open for the waitlist for the next round of Embodied Woman Group Mentorship. This is a journey like no other, a deep dive into embodiment, somatic awareness, self-honoring and healing practices, the journey of remineralization, awakening your feminine energy and restoring the resources within your heart, body, wombs, cells, and overall vitality. This is my signature program, which launches twice a year. There are limited spaces for the intake. If you're feeling the call, head on down to the show notes in this episode, click the link and join the waitlist where you will receive more information soon. Hope you enjoyed the episode of this podcast. Sending you so much love. Have a beautiful, vital, and nourishing day.